You are now listening to the Going North podcast, where you'll receive tips and techniques to advance yourself. I'm your host, Dom Brightman, and every week we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. On a quick side note, be sure to check out Going North the book. It's available in ebook, audio, as well as paperback form for those who love to read a traditional book. Now let's get on with the show. And the next round of gratitude, baby, on the Going North podcast. It's another member of the STC Elite, the State of Course Elite Book Launch Team, baby. Those who supported book number 2. And today's honoree is the one, the only Stanley Mikulski. And this guy right here met through Toastmasters a few years ago when I was doing district leadership out in the Annapolis area. And he is one great guy. I met him back in, I think it was like 2016, and real good dude. Funny guy, too. Real polished speaker, and he was one of the few folks that supported me at my first couple book signings. Even if he didn't have to stay a long time, he still showed up and purchased my book and supported it. And he's got a book of his own coming out soon, too. And he's got one heck of a great story to tell, because one of the things I noticed about him is that he is tenacious and he knows how to stay in the game, because he had a motorcycle accident a couple years ago, but he was able to recover from that, and he's still allowed to tell the tale. And I'm pretty sure you're going to hear more of it soon on this podcast once he gets that book coming out soon. So Stanley, thanks again for all that you do, and keep being positive and keep working to get the most out of life that you can, my man.
And today on the Going North podcast, where we bring you some amazing humans from around the globe, today is no different, because today we have a wonderful success coach, best-selling author, and acclaimed keynote speaker. And this wonderful speaker right here has leadership skills that were developed early while he served in the U.S. military corps from 1985 to 1989. So
Hoorah.
4 years. That's right. I got a few relatives in the Marines, so this is extra special too. And the beautiful thing about this is, after he was in college, he started his own marketing and distribution company called Impact Marketing, and then founded Service Master by Mike. And he's sold businesses after 20 years, and he is able to turn it around, because through his epic failures and measures success, he brings a unique perspective in mentoring business owners and using his failure as a great teacher. This wonderful author right here motivates, inspires, and transforms people into their brilliance. So that's right. Even if you don't have a bald head, you can be extra shiny today. And for those who may be wondering who this awesome person is, who's also a dad of 4 awesome kids, it's the one, the only, Michael Botts. How are you today, sir?
Man, I am excited to be here. Thank you for the privilege of being on your show, and I promise we will not disappoint.
That definitely won't disappoint us, especially a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. Like, nope, definitely ain't going to disappoint. Far from it. So as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 31 years long, so mind filling in some cavities where I missed some fillings?
Not at all, man. My greatest life achievement is those 4 kids, and anybody that gets to have them in their life is privileged. And the rest is just me serving, solving, and saving anybody I come across.
Wow, I made with 3 S's. The alliteration's on point, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So what inspired you to join the Marines?
You know, I grew up in a small town, and I wanted to get out of there, and I didn't have enough money for college. I played football, but there wasn't any scholarship. So I said, you know what? Me and my buddy were like, hey, let's join the Marine Corps. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. And so we got onto it. And then when I was in boot camp, I I guess I tested really good on a bunch of tests, and they said, you got two choices. You can be in linguistics, or you can guard the President of the United States in the Yankee White program. That's what it was called at the current time. And I jumped right on board, man. I was like, I'll guard the president. So I got to guard the very end of President Reagan and President Bush. It was really an honor to do that.
Wow, dude, congrats. That's super special, sweet, awesome right there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, indeed. And you're able to not only test well, guard the president, and then stay for 4 years. You actually was able to transfer that into starting your own businesses, too.
Yeah, a lot of the skills, and one of the fundamentals of the Marine Corps is adapt and overcome. And, you have to have that. If you're going to own a business, you have to have the ability to adapt and overcome.
Yes, sir, indeed. So any advice for any veteran out there maybe listening to this podcast, they maybe going through a time where they may have forgotten some of that embedded principles of adapting and overcoming, that they may need to maybe going through a slump, need to overcome that and maybe just start their own business, or maybe even go out there and get a job to start off?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. And the key word in the question was they forgot. I come across a lot of veterans, and they've forgotten what they did. They've been kicking doors in. They've been having people shoot at them. They've been saving lives. And then they show up in the civilian marketplace, and they forget how awesome they are. And if you'll give me the opportunity right now, I just want to remind each of you veterans, when you step into that civilian marketplace, you have an advantage. You have a key advantage, and that's the ability to adapt and overcome. So if you got to get a job for a minute, so what? Do that. Whatever it takes to be your own boss, if that's your passion. Or if you're going to go into the career side of it, do it with all and everything you got. Just totally make them sad the day you leave.
I like that right there. That's right. Make them sad the day you leave. That is so true. That's how you do it right there. Yeah, and you're right about that. And talking to different people, just hear different stories of how it's like in the military. Folks just get in service, and then they become a weapon, a human weapon, a machine, and then out of nowhere they get back to civilian life. It's not as much. They just forget that, and then they just become depressed. Or heck, some of them become depressed while even after the basics training.
Yeah. And I think I've thought a lot about it, and I've got an opportunity to serve a lot of veterans. And I think one of the things I talk about in my book is feeling bad for feeling bad. And because these guys are heroes, because they have been shot at, and then they come back here and they feel bad because they missed a job opportunity, or they, got downsized, or whatever that is. And then they're like, I'm a hero. How dare I feel bad? And I want to offer each of them, and this is actually for anybody. You don't have to be a veteran, but look at what you've done. When you feel bad for feeling bad, which I'm an expert at, you have put yourself 2 levels away from normal. You've really built 2 barriers before you get back to normal. So how about we just give each other permission? Hey, you feel bad? Okay, own that. Own it. You still there, Dom?
Yeah, I'm still there. I thought that was like one of those pregnant pauses where it's about, here's the heavy point, here's the heavy one.
Well, for real, man, we got, veterans committing suicide. We've got teenagers committing suicide. And I think one of the fundamentals of that is feeling bad for feeling bad, because we're not given permission to feel bad. And if we could just do one thing, and that is, okay, I feel bad, and I'm going to own that. And I'm going to feel bad for 2 weeks, or I'm going to feel bad for a month, and then I'm going to come out of this. If we would give ourselves that permission to feel bad, as opposed to feeling bad for feeling bad, I think we could recover and adapt and overcome the way we're supposed to.
Heck yeah, man, and especially the overcome piece, because you're giving yourself permission to feel bad, and that's actually a very powerful thing you just said there, because in this day and age, especially where maybe a hero where you're at, those may not have served in the military, but they may be just that hard-working dad or that hard working mother, especially maybe a hardworking single mother, and they never have given themselves permission to have a bad day. I mean, there's the philosophy that leaders aren't allowed to have bad days, but sometimes, like, you know what? Like, we're all human here. We got to just admit it.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I think leaders don't have permission to have a bad day. That's going to make you feel bad for feeling bad because, oh, I'm a leader, I'm feeling bad. If the rule is I can't have a bad day, then I must not be a leader. Look how that logic defeats us. Look how that logic is setting us up for failure, for failure to be this bad, negative thing. So I love what you said there. Thank you for bringing it up, man.
Yeah, man. It's always good to be around folks who bring the gold out of each other, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, indeed. Yes, sir, indeed. And able to find a way to actually take all of that, and you published this awesome best-selling book, Go for the Big. So what inspired the book?
You know, I went through this really dark place. I owned my business, supposed to be Mr. Success, and, you know, had this image of myself that, you know, I was killing it. In the first year in business, I got Rookie of the Year, and they hadn't even given that to anybody before. But I grew the business. It was an existing business, and I grew it 90% the first year. So that was unheard of. And so, you know, my whole life, I'm the golden boy. I've been succeeding in everything. And then failure just sucked me out into the ocean of am I enough? And I was in this really dark place, and I sucked as a dad. I sucked as a husband. I sucked as a boss, as a business owner. And through that darkness, I was like, you know what? I've built some strategies. I've learned some formulas that will help us get out of this, and I know everybody's going through this, so I'm going to put this together. And it's like a success formula for people that own a business and have been in the dark place, going to go to the dark place, or are in the dark place right now. So that's why I wrote the book, was to help somebody else.
Beautiful, right there. And I believe it's the 3 powers of success. That's part of the formula for it.
Yeah, there's 3 powers of success. The spoken word, what you say out your mouth, unity, you got to be unified with someone, and submission to a mentor, to a coach, something like that. If you can apply those 3 principles, they will lead you down the path of success.
Oh, there you go. All on that bus right there. The success bus, baby.
Yes.
Better yet, a success train. Just make a choo-choo sound the whole way. Success is coming.
You know, I talk about in the book that success and failure are twins, and you have to date the one twin to get the other twin to chase you. And a lot of times we think success is this glamorous, beautiful, sparkly thing. And the truth is, success is simple, success is boring, and success is very achievable. The guys that master the fundamentals, which sounds totally boring, but the business owners that will master their fundamentals for their business are going to succeed.
There you go. It's almost like those folks who play sports, they always master, whether like basketball, the dribble, or for those who golf, they just master their swing, so the fundamentals.
Yes. And in business, you know, it's making that phone call. In business, it's doing a follow-up. In business, it's always be interviewing, so you have great people on your staff. I mean, it depends on your business, but when you sit down with a business owner, when I sit down with a CEO, we find out what the fundamentals are, and then that's part of their checkup list. That's part of what they're doing on a monthly basis.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Almost like those martial arts black belts. It's like you think the black belt's the end-all, be-all until you actually get it, and then it's like, oh, shoot, there's more to learn, and then you got to keep practicing the basics to actually make sure you keep the mastery at that level so you can then get to the other ones.
Absolutely. It's the exact same formula. I mean, if you'll look at the super master, you know, 5th degree black belt, they'll break it down into 6 moves. And if you master these 6 moves, most of all of your stances and everything come down to those 6 moves. And the same thing with each business owner. Each business owner, to get your black belt in business, You're going to have to get hit in the face. You're going to have to take a kick in the neck. You're going to get gut checked. All that's going to happen. But if you can stick to those fundamentals during the fight, you will win the fight.
Heck yeah. And that's pretty actually interesting what you mentioned earlier about the success and failure being twins. In a way, that's probably the most interesting way I've heard someone actually describe it that way.
Yeah, because think about it. You're going along and you're failing. You're calling, and you're calling, and it's failing, and it's failing. And the formula for success that I have in the book is risk, fail, learn, repeat. Now, a lot of people give me pushback, like, Michael, that formula doesn't have success in it. And I'm like, that's because if you'll execute this formula, if you'll take a risk, if you'll have the fail, and then don't let fail be your enemy. My whole life, I was fighting fail, Donald. I thought fail was the enemy. And when I went through that dark place, it dawned on me that failure is not the enemy. And as long as you think failure is the enemy and you're fighting to fail, this is what happens. Your face is down in the mud of disappointment. Fail has its boot on the back of your neck, and you are continually losing. But when you learn that, when it dawns on us that fail is a teacher, then we sit at the feet of fail, and we get to learn. So the formula is risk. That's taking a risk. What is your risk today? Fail. Okay, you failed. Learn. What is the learn? What did you learn today? And then I have my clients write in their learn log what they learned today. And then you repeat. You repeat faster, better, stronger. And the reason that is the formula for success. And success looks just like failure. It's just you've done it more times and you've gotten to learn out of each time. That's why they're twins.
Beautiful. Heck, almost like the learn log. That's amazing right there. That's good. Is that going to be a separate product, or just have folks just get a notebook and do it?
Yeah, just get a notebook, man. I see these guys got these, this is the best, calendar. This is the best scheduler ever. And then you get it, and it's the same thing you had 12 years ago. So the learn log, they're just trying to make a buck off you. And I got no problem with anybody making money. And if it helps you, great. But the truth is, break out a spiral notebook, 99 cents at the dollar store, and every day write your learn down and create a learn log.
There you go. Have your LL Cool J with you, your learning log.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. My man's a powerhouse, baby. That's right. Yes, indeed. A powerhouse, indeed. Well, as with all powerhouses, there's always the hindsight being 20/20. So if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but this time in the current year of 2019 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh, man, that is a long list, brother.
You can give the whole list. I can give half the list.
The first thing that I would tell myself is go for the big now. Don't wait. There is in my book I talk about there is no perfect. Everybody's waiting for the perfect time to start your business, the perfect time to get a divorce, the perfect time to get married, the perfect time to have kids, the perfect time to buy the house. I'm here to tell you, Michael that's 25 in 2019, there is no perfect time. Go for the big right now. That would be number one. Number two would be embrace small beginnings. Look, Michael, you're a big thinker. You have a lot of dreams and aspirations, but I want you to realize a small baby, embrace the small beginnings, a baby step. If you write one page for your book today, that's beautiful, Michael. Congratulations. And then the third thing I would tell you, Michael, at 25 in 2019, is that failure is your friend. You need to stick to this formula. Risk. What risk have you taken today? What risk have you taken this week? What risk have you taken this month? And it's only a risk if there's failure involved. If you haven't failed in 6 months, you haven't been risking. Okay? So let's make sure it's a risk. Then you're going to fail. The second part of the formula is fail. Michael, failure is not your enemy. Stop fighting fail. Sit at the feet of fail and learn the lesson. The third part of the formula is the learn. That's the platinum. That's where all the beautiful success is made. When you get that learn, Michael, don't live in risk, fail, risk, fail. That's the formula for insanity. When you add the learn to the formula and you really embrace the learn, then you can repeat faster, stronger, better. And Michael, if you will listen to this at 25 in 2019, your life will be amazing. Now, this isn't a free pass, Michael. You're still going to have to go through the suck. You're still going to have to go through the fail. But if you can embrace it, you won't go so dark. Don't feel bad for feeling bad. That's what I would tell myself, Dom.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. Yes, indeed. That golden key, baby, the learn part. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Woohoo. Well, all righty. For those who want to keep in contact with you and all that you're doing, especially with your daily Facebook broadcast happening every morning at 9, what's the best way to keep in touch with you?
Well, I tell you, I put those on Facebook so they can, I put them on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and subscribe to the Michael Bach Experience channel, and there's new content being created there every day. They can, of course, find me on Facebook and friend me. That's no problem at all. I'd love to have this. And you can go to my website, themichaelbossexperience.com, and if you go down to the bottom and fill out the information, maybe we can have a conversation together. If you reach out to me, I'll reach out to you.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. The wonderful Michael Botts, baby. My man's going to have you feeling like the most powerful robot of all time, baby, busting through 30 brick walls all at once. And you're going to feel that way when you pick up a copy or 30 of Escape Average. Go for the big.
Yes.
And be sure to pick up a copy of that book and leave a review, too, because that helps other folks learn about the good Michael Botts experience. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed, brother. Yes, indeed.
Well, all righty. Any parting words for the folks still listening?
Yeah, I would just like to encourage everyone. Some of you are in a dark place right now. Some of you are carrying a lot of heavy, and I want to encourage you, you can't quit. And the reason you can't quit is because you are someone's only light. Without you, keep going. Someone won't make it out of the darkness. So I want to encourage you. I know it's hard. I know it's heavy. I know it seems like no one believes, no one cares, no one's jumping on board, but I want to encourage you. It will happen. Don't quit, because you are the only light someone is going to have.
How's it going, you showstopper? It's great that you enjoyed this episode of the Going North podcast. If you really enjoyed it, be sure to shoot the guest an email or head over to the social media pages and leave them a nice response that you heard them on the Going North podcast, so that way they can continue to be inspired to do great things. And be sure to share this podcast with others that you think would enjoy it as well, because we want to inspire as many people as possible to live their dreams, embrace them, and to do something positive.